What a good team. What a very, very good team. And I hear people say at the beginning of the year that UConn was supposed to have a down year. That's not a down year. That's a program that has championship pedigree, and the culture is there. You go there, they just plug you in, and they just keep on winning. I'm proud of my team. I hate the fact that we spotted them 24 points in the first quarter. Second quarter, 18-16, we began to compete a little bit. I have something I can teach, and I have something that we can grow on.
Questions? You mentioned the first quarter, and your team was competitive the rest of the way. What went wrong in the first quarter? Was it nerves? It
looked like nerves because we had opportunity. We defended the first possession well, had opportunity to get the rebound. There was a little bit of contact, and then they get a layup. So we gave them 2 points, and at that point we continued to give them shots. You can't let a team as good as UConn get easy buckets and get into a rhythm the way that we allowed them to. When we had a chance to score in transition, we shot the ball, we missed wide open layups. I think it was nerves or thinking we felt we had to, every time they score, we had to score rather than settle down and do what we do. And once it got so bad until we did settle down, we had a very good second quarter, as I mentioned earlier.
You said you have something you can teach. What do you teach from us?
Well, you can teach that if you play with poise, you compete and you do the details which you've been taught. We have a 18-16, a 25-16, and a 19-14, 3 quarters of the game after spotting them 24. Yes, we lost every one of those quarters, but anything can happen if we stay a little bit closer. I think when you spot a team 24 points, it devastates your confidence. I think it's hard to bounce back. I had no idea if our team will continue to battle the rest of that game, and they did, and that's what I'm proud of.
You played against them as an assistant and as a head coach. What impresses you about the way they go about their business on game day?
There's so many things that impresses me about Coach Ariamo's team. They do the little things, they do the details, they compete more consistently than any other team in the country. That's what you have to see. You can talk about they make the right basketball plays. You can talk about they make shots. Yeah, they play the game the way it's supposed to be played. The ball move until they can get a high percentage shot. A high percentage shot is a shot that's uncontested. It looks like, wow, they keep getting wide open shots. That's because they see the defense and they all are good passers. And that's why they shoot such a high percentage. So that I'm very impressed with their complete game, offensively and defensively.
With Connecticut being... Go ahead.
One at a time, guys, one at a time.
A few years ago, you went up with, I think it was the Georgia staff, to watch them practice.
Yes.
And one of the things Doris Burke talks about on ESPN a lot is you need to watch them practice to see what they do.
No doubt.
What can you learn from watching that practice, if you would consider doing it again, that would help you understand better, would help your team, what they do?
If I could take my entire team up and let them spend the 2 days that I spent with Coach and his staff and watched him prepare, you would see their team compete against one another, compete against themselves to be perfect. And it's not perfect, it's just to stay consistent, because there's no perfect practice, there's no perfect game. But the details of what they do, they try to do that as consistently as possible. And I think that's the way they build self-trust, but they build trust in their teammates. So there's never a doubt. He can play with 5 players or he could play with 10 players, and none of them, they look the same no matter who you put out there on the floor. If my team could watch how hard they practice and how freely their body moves and how freely the ball moves, they never look tense or uptight. Whether they make a mistake or not make a mistake, they can make a 3-pointer, they get back, they can turn the ball over, they still get back. It all looks the same. And that's the consistency that I think he tries to reach, and he's always been honest. I've watched a ton of his interviews over the years, and you hear Coach Gino be 100% honest about how he gets on his players. He's honest with the media. He's honest with everybody. And I think it shows in the dominance over the years. And this program probably will go down in history as the greatest all time.
Alicia Froling gives you a double-double, 16 and 12, 5 blocks. Considering the team that she did it against, how would you evaluate her performance, and where does it rank among the games she's had for you so far this year?
Well, I expect it. I truly expect Alicia to play the way that she plays against anybody. Alicia has that pedigree to where she challenges herself every day. She practices that way every day. So if I see her not play well, I'm going to wonder if she's sick or not feeling well or something. It doesn't matter the opponent. I can flip that and say I watch UConn. When they play, I don't think they care whether it's SMU or whether it's Notre Dame or whoever it is that they're playing against. Those players are challenging themselves to do what they've been doing in practice on a consistent basis. And that's what I see in Alicia every single day.
Right here, Senator.
Coach, when you look down the sideline, you see Coach Gino and the tradition that he's built with that program. What lessons can you learn from him, and what inspiration can you gain moving forward here at your new program?
A lot. I'm just glad I'm in his conference. I'm glad I get a chance to listen to the other coaches, because we all play against him either once or twice throughout the season, and I'm going to see him once or twice throughout the season. And everything that he does, how can you not be inspired by what he's doing? I think he's done so much for the game. It's almost ludicrous when I hear people say it's what UConn doing bad for the women's game. How is that even a question? Absolutely not. You have everybody in the world. When you talk about some of the greatest sports programs in history, his would come up. You know, any other women's program that we would be talking about when we put them among the elite. There's so many things I could look at and hope one day through this process that my program can get to somewhere close to what he's done. Not the entire history, but just close to what he's done, a third of the history of what he's done at UConn.
Travis, their length and wingspan, it just seems incredible. 14 block shots, and that also with 21 turnovers. It just seems like they cover a lot more court than most teams do, right?
Mm-hmm. They play the angles, they play the details, they play tendencies of their opponents. They do everything that you want your team to do. And I'm not stroking coach, but the thing is, I give props where props are due. And it's fun to watch his team play. He's a thorn in my side. I played him the last 3 years. I mean, he's knocked me out of the tournament the last 2 years at the University of Texas. But when you watch his team play, you have to be impressed. And it's a great example to show your team and any other program that wants to be an elite program.
With Connecticut being what it is, with its record, with its rankings, what was your team like in practice in the days leading up to today? And now that this game is in the rearview mirror, how do you expect practice to change as you get ready for the next one?
Well, in practice, our team, we try to bounce back because games keep coming. You can't hold on. And you know, before we met UConn, we had lost to East Carolina. Then we lost here our first home game to Tulane. So we was trying to pick ourselves off the floor, but knowing that there was going to be probably the best team we're going to play all year coming here on our home court. And we were trying to be prepared to compete for 40 minutes. And unfortunately, we played 1/4 of that. We competed 1/4 of that, I would say, because I think the first quarter we did not. That's how we prepared in practice. Now, after this game being over, I think we understand that playing against the best, we get an example of what we should want to look like. And hopefully we can mirror that and get back in practice, and they will believe some of the stuff that their first-year coach is telling them.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Travis.
You're welcome, guys.